Fine. Let's move on to our today's class. So today, now as in the previous class, we had already seen dictionaries, what are dictionaries and some ways of creating dictionaries where we saw some complicated methods also, right? This method, the first one which I told you, it doesn't accept the first method which is there, which you can see over here, using the dict function and using the equals operator over here to specify key and value pairs. Here the keys can only be strings, okay, not numeric. You cannot have numeric strings over here. This is the only method which doesn't accept keys as numeric values, okay, but rest all the methods will accept keys as numeric values. So you can just try them out on your Python idle and check it. Next is, today we are going to discuss characteristics of a dictionary. So what are the various characteristics? It is very essential to learn the characteristics of a dictionary because that will help us to solve many problems. It will help us in solving application based questions as well as conceptual hot questions. Keys of a dictionary must be of immutable types such as a string, number, tuple, etc. So very first requirement is keys of a dictionary should be immutable types. We will just try it out over here. Just wait. So I'm writing here, I'm creating a dictionary D1 and over here for keys I'm using list. Okay. List is a mutable data type. First one is this, second one is this, right? When I press enter, you can see unhashable type list, right? Because lists are what? Mutable data types. Dictionaries do not accept mutable data types over here. I want you all to find the reason for this. Your homework is find the reason for this. Why is it that lists or mutable data types, mutable data elements cannot form the keys in a dictionary? Okay, so that is a homework for everybody. And in our next class tomorrow, we will be first discussing this question, right? But if you have a mutable data type here, sorry, immutable data type here, that is allowed. You can see that here this is allowed. Immutable data type, immutable data is allowed to be a key, whereas mutable data is not allowed to be a key in a dictionary. Second point, if you try to give a mutable type data as key, Python returns error unhashable type. That is, it cannot convert it using the hash function, right? Because there is one hint I will give you. You have seen that lists are mutable data types and they contain an extra level of indexing. Okay, that is, if I just tell you, there was already an, if you take the list instance, it contains a field named item. Okay, object. So list object, so it contains a pointer to the actual list object, which is a collection of pointers to various elements within the list, right? Whereas in tuples it is not so. Already directly the object item field, it contains pointers or references to different types of objects which are elements within the tuple. Okay, so that could be one of the reasons, but I want a proper reason for that, so everybody is going to find out why it is so. Dictionary elements are unordered. There is no specific sequencing of the key value pairs. As I already explained earlier, there is no sequencing in dictionary elements. They are unordered many a times. Now, I had also told you that when you create a dictionary and specify the key value pairs in a specific order, it is not necessary that when it is displayed using the print statement, all the key value pairs would be displayed in the order in which you have given. For smaller dictionaries, we were seeing that we were getting quite that order, but many a times when the number of elements increases in a dictionary, that order changes. There are no positive or negative indices used, only keys. Hence, it is not a sequence. It is a mapping data type. Okay. Attempting to access a key which does not exist causes an error, that is key error. If a key does not exist in the dictionary, it will give you a key error. Like if I write here D1 and I try to write something like 45 as a key. When I press enter, it gives a key error, that is 45 is not there in the dictionary. Indexed by keys, not numbers. Keys can also be tuples if they contain values of non-mutable types. So you can see that these tuples can be used as keys provided they contain values which are immutable, not mutable. That is, if a tuple contains a list within itself, it cannot be used as a key. A tuple can be used as a key only when it contains all the immutable data. Keys can also be tuples if they contain values of non-mutable types. Keys must be unique. Yes, if you cannot have more than one keys in a same dictionary which is same. You cannot have the same key in the dictionary, right? Keys have to be unique, but values can be different. Like if I try to create a phone book here, so I have given value like Amit. And I'm giving 1, 2, 3, 4 for Rohan. So that is accepted. Okay. But if I try to add another value here, another key and its value pair, another secondary phone number of Amit. Okay. Here, what happens is it is not added. It is in fact just replaced. The previous value is replaced by the new value, right? So if I create phone book again, and I'm going to copy all these values. And to this, I'm going to add another value for Amit. You can see that here there is only one element Amit and its latest value which was given. That is, this value has been accepted as the value. So dictionary even if you are providing duplicate values to dictionary, duplicate keys to the dictionary, it will only accept the key once. Okay, so this is a very good feature of dictionary. It doesn't give you any error message, rather it rejects one of the values. Okay, and it only uses the latest value which is being given later in the dictionary. This was given first, so this is overwritten by this value, right? Internally stored as mappings. Yes, so I already told you how it is stored as a mapping. That is, there is a kind of a hash function which is used to convert keys into index values within an internal array which is used to store dictionary elements, okay, by Python, and this is handled internally by Python. Next is accessing elements within a dictionary. So we will be seeing this today, accessing elements. First is traversing a dictionary using for loop. We can only traverse elements of a dictionary using the for item. Just a sec, let me first clear this. Many times it's not clear. You can only access it using this variant of for loop, for item in collection. Right. So here how you will be using it, for key in dictionary. for key in dictionary object, and you can use it as this. Print if you write it like this, what will be printed? The value will be printed. How? Let's see it. Suppose I have a dictionary. Let me just copy this phone book dictionary over here. So we have this phone book dictionary here. And now I'm going to write here for key in phone book. Now key is not a keyword, students. You can also, it is a user defined identifier, so you can change its name. You can also write for name in phone book, for contact in phone book. Okay, so any key, any identifier you can take in place of key. But why we are taking key? Because it is easy for us to understand that this is a dictionary which we are trying to traverse. Okay, so I am writing here phone book, which is the dictionary object and key. So I have written it like this, but I also, what will this program give me as an output? It will traverse every key. Okay, it will first start from here. The first key which it finds is what? Amit, right? And you are writing print phone book key. That is, if I write phone book Amit, what should it give me? Tell me. If I write phone book Amit, what is the corresponding value for this key? Yes, come on, tell me. What is the corresponding value for this key, Amit?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, exactly. Okay, so this is the value which will be returned if you write print like this. But if I want the answer to be like this, Amit, this is how I want the output to be. This is how I want the output. ऐसा आउटपुट लाने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? What change will I make in this statement? You have to make the change only in this print statement. You will write print. Firstly, Amit, you are writing, that is Amit, Sujal, Rohan. All these are the keys. So you will write key here, comma. Then I want a colon in between. So I will write colon within double quotes or single quotes. And then I want the value. So value I will get from writing it this way. Name of the dictionary object followed by key. Got it? So this is what we are going to do. So you will be getting the key over here followed by a colon and then the value corresponding to the key. Remember, this is the value of the key. This is the key of the dictionary, right? So key and value pairs. This is how you will be printing the values, or you can print the values in any way you want. You want a dash in between, you can replace this by dash. Display is completely dependent on the programmer, how he wants to print the values, right? So this for loop is only going to access the keys, because keys are the only ways in which we are going to access dictionary elements. Okay, they just do the work of indices. Just like we had indices in strings, list, tuples. Okay, and what was the task of indices? To access the elements. So here, to access the element, we actually, our element is what? It is the whole key value pair. So you will be using the key in order to access its value, right? Let's write a small program for doing this. Write a program to create a phone dictionary for all your friends and then print it. So we have sample data over here, right? This part, you can simply write it as, no need to put a comma in between and then write it as separate single quote values, because all three are static values. Okay, they are static prompts, so you can simply use them under one continuous chunk of string enclosed within single quotes, right? And this key part also, instead of writing key within parenthesis, you can omit the parenthesis and simply keep the square brackets. Okay, that is sufficient, right? Otherwise, your program is absolutely correct. So these are certain things, students. The more you do it practically, you will understand it better. So only 2 students send me the answers. Fine. So let us create a program now. So we will modify this program now to create a dictionary programmatically. So we will be asking for the keys and the value pairs from the users, right? So for that, firstly, now what I want is, the idea is that the user is going to keep on entering the key value pairs till he wants to stop. So for that, what we are going to do is, we'll be using our same old method. That is, we will be using a variable like yes, and we will assign y to it, and till the time the user keeps on entering yes, the program is going to keep on accepting the data, right? So let's do that. Fine. So here, firstly, we are going to create a dictionary phone book using the dict function or dict method. And now we are going to ask for the values. So ANS equals Y. While the user's answer is yes, first accept name of the person. So I'm writing here P name. That is name of the person. Enter the name of contact. You can also take C name for contact name and the contact number. So phone number equals. Now phone number is something you don't need to perform any mathematical operations, and mostly because people have a mobile phone number, a cell phone number, which is usually 10 digits. So while printing, it might get printed in the form of this scientific notation. So it's better to accept phone number as a string only, because you don't need to perform any arithmetic operations on that. Enter the contact number of the person. So both the things are there. The person name is also there and the phone number is also there. Now we are going to add it to the phone book. So we have phone book here, and we are going to write phone book P name equals phone number, right? So P name will form the key within the dictionary and phone number will be the value. You will ask for the yes or no, want to continue accepting data, and till the time the user says yes, you are going to continue accepting data. This was accepting data. So here I'm just going to insert a comment line, accepting contact details, right? Now what I'll be doing is printing contact details. How do I print the contact details? So I'm going to first of all print a line here. Then I'm going to give a /t, a horizontal tab, then a colon, then again /t, and after that I'm going to type here contact. This is my header row. Okay. Now let us take it this way, P name in phone book. Now you can see I'm not using the word key, the variable key here. Rather, I'm using the identifier p name because this will enable me to understand very well that what I'm trying to access in this phone book. I'm trying to access the person's name as the key and get its or extract its corresponding contact number, which is the value. So print firstly, now you can check the format here. I have first provided person, so I want person name over here. Then I want a slash t, then a colon, then again slash t, then the contact number. So I'm going to write p name here, comma, then slash t, Dhruv's method, and then we are going to write phone book p name. What is the difference between the two? This is only going to return the key. This is going to return the value corresponding to this key, right? Let's run the program and see. And we are going to use this sample data. Yes. So the data is, first is Rabia, contact number 4563217. Accepting data, yes, Murugan, and the contact number is 3241567. Accepting data. Okay, I missed out on entering something, but you still can see how the data is going to be printed. By mistake, I just pressed enter instead of yes, and it just stopped accepting the values, and it simply printed the output. And you can see that the output is in a proper tabular format over here. Is it clear to everybody how we can do this? So this is how to create a phone book where we are accepting key value pairs from the user programmatically and also printing the contact information programmatically. So individual elements is how to access individual elements. Simply write the, like in this particular dictionary, if I want to access the phone number of Dilpreet, I will be writing it like this. Phone book Dilpreet, right? And this will give me the phone number of Dilpreet, right? So I can access the values, use individual elements, I can access in this way. Accessing keys only. Now, if you want to specifically access only keys and values, what to do? Like I have the phone book here. Now, when I enter phone book, there are two values over here, right? So when I write phone book dot keys, this keys method will return only the keys within the dictionary. So you can see dict keys, which is a tuple consisting of, which is actually a set which consists of, which gives you the two values, that is the keys, the names of persons. And if you write phone book dot values method, it will return the values within the dictionary. Got it? Phone book keys and phone book dot values. So how to accept keys? Dictionary object dot keys method. And how to access the values? Dictionary object dot values method. Right? Converting keys and values into list. Now how to convert keys and values into list? So over here, what we are going to do is we are going to create a list of persons and contacts. Okay, so person can be a list. So within the list function, I'm going to write here phone book dot keys. Press enter. If you just check out persons, it is a list now consisting of only the keys within the dictionary, and contact equals, again I'm creating a list phone book dot values. Press enter and I just type contact and it is a list. You can also convert it into a tuple. Okay, so just you have to use the tuple function outside phonebook.keys or phonebook.values. These were the various methods of accessing elements within a dictionary. We also checked out a program which is used to create a phone book. Now, next is adding elements to a dictionary. How do you add elements to a dictionary? So adding elements is a straightforward method which we were using earlier, and it is this method, that is, just use the dictionary object followed by the key and the value which is there, right? So it is simple, that is, use the dictionary object followed by the key provided within square brackets equals value, right? So this is the way in which you can add elements to dictionary. We don't have any append function over here. We don't have any extend function over here. This is the only way, this is the way through which you can add as well as update values. ओके, ऐड भी इसी मेथड से होगा. अगर ये की नहीं होगा आपके डिक्शनरी में तो वो ऐड हो जाएगा. इफ दिस की इज नॉट प्रेजेंट इन द डिक्शनरी इट विल बी एडेड, and it updation will also take place through this method only. If the key exists in the dictionary, its old value will be replaced by the new value. So this is the method to add as well as update values within the dictionary. We'll see that. Like here we already have phone book, right? So now let me add another value to this phone book. What value can I add? So I'm going to add another value, Madhav's contact number over there. So what will I do? I will simply write phone book Madhav equals 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is also provided as a string. And enter. And now when you print phone book, you can see that it contains 3 elements. Okay, 3 key value pairs. But if I write here phone book Rabia equals something else. So now you will see that there is no new element added. The old value for Rabia, the key Rabia, it has been replaced by the new value. This was the old value. This is the new value. So this is the only method which is used to add as well as update existing elements into the dictionary. Accessing dictionaries, traversing dictionaries, adding elements programmatically to the dictionary, and also printing elements programmatically in any specific format which we want. And we also learned that there is only one way of adding elements as well as updating elements in a dictionary. Okay, so thank you all.